committed to building out over 7 billion miles of renewable energy by 2030. And so those projects are already underway, and the downstream demand that all of our customers, all of our owners collectively represent, enable us to create this new upstream supply of renewable energy. So, we're here to talk about what's next. We're here to talk about how all this brings us to our next set of products, and really how we get a lot more people into our products, into our brand. And how do we make Rivian more accessible to a lot more people? So with that, let me introduce you to R2.
You ready?
The team has done just an incredible job of being the driving force behind the products. We've been working together since well before the R1, so it is so amazing to see this and see the amazing work. Thank you. It is so awesome to show this. I've been waiting for this for a while, and there's a lot to talk about here. The vehicle combines capability, performance, utility, storage, functionality in a way that we think just really fits right into a huge customer need and a huge need within the market. The vehicle size, the vehicle capability really has been optimized around enabling, as I said, and inspiring all those adventures. And so we're going to walk through the vehicle, but just starting here at the front. In the front of the vehicle, we have a large front storage trunk. Those are familiar with R1, of course. This should be very relatable, but this is great for putting luggage, backpacks, your gear. It's one of the most used storage areas for R1 vehicle. We can see the data on how all of our owners are using it. But it is just an awesome setup, and of course, this also serves to support a lot of the front safety in the vehicle, the crash tests we saw in those R1 videos. Now, if we go around the side of the vehicle, it's hard to see without sitting in it, but so much effort has gone into making sure the packaging, not just in the front row, but also in the second row, creates this really airy, really comfortable, really spacious experience. Something that really is world class. There's nothing quite like it in this size of vehicle, where you get in and you feel so comfortable, and it feels so inviting. And we're going to take a look at the interior in a second. But first, just walk around the back. We did a lot of work to create something that builds a really open air experience. You just saw, or maybe you saw, these quarter windows pop out. And we leverage the negative pressure off the back of the vehicle to pull natural air through. It creates a beautiful open air feeling experience. And then the rear glass, which you just saw drop, also opens. And now the rear glass opening, it literally feels like an open air experience. But this gives you the ability to put second row seats fold flat, but also the first row seats fold flat. And the first row seats fold flat. That gives you, and, you know, if you're driving the vehicle, you put long things in very easily. But if you're not driving the vehicle, let's say you're camping or staying around the vehicle, it creates this awesome in-vehicle camping experience with an inflatable mattress. So walking around here to the side, you're thinking to yourself, how's the vehicle size? You're probably looking at me, I'm about 6'1", trying to figure out how does this compare to an R1. We'll tell you, it's about 400 millimeters shorter than an R1S. And in addition to being shorter, it's quite a bit, or shorter wheelbase, it's also lower in height. And it fits into any garage, it fits into bed spaces, really maneuverable. But to look at it in a driving environment is really helpful. So we'll show you here next to an R1S. It looks awesome. Like, you know, just the two family members out for a stroll. I love that. So let's take a look at the inside. And there's, when you think about the design and inside of the interior of the vehicle, a lot of that ties to just what's in the materials, what's in the packaging, what does it make you feel? What's that environment feel like? And so we spent a lot of time working through those materials and the overall packaging to create an experience that is as inviting as one can imagine. And we have a lot of feedback from R1. And one of the points of feedback was a desire for a glove box. Two glove boxes.
Two gloves.
The other thing, I mean, there's lots to see here, but one of the things that's so exciting is the way we've looked at the controls. We have these really nice large wheels in the scroll wheels in the steering wheel. There's dynamic haptic feedback, so it allows us to adjust what it's feeling like when you're scrolling, and it's magical. It takes our existing scroll wheel and really up levels it to a degree that's hard to fully appreciate unless you're sitting in the car. Now, jumping back out, a lot of work into the doors, move the speaker out of the door, gives it space for a large water bottle here. Of course, it would be a Rivian, flashlight at the door. Really love that, super handy. So now, how does this set up in terms of how it functions? And we built an entirely new platform underpin this vehicle. A lot of work went into driving manufacturing cost efficiency, and it's built around a 4695 cell. So it's a cylindrical cell, 46 millimeters in diameter, 95 millimeters tall. It's a much larger cell than the 21 millimeter diameter cell that we have in R1 today. And that cell's integrated into a highly structural battery pack. The battery pack in the floor actually makes up a big part of the vehicle structure. The top of the battery pack is actually the floor of the vehicle. So a lot of these innovations that we're driving into how we build the vehicle are core to us, making sure that the price point can be really affordable. We'll get to that later. But from a drivetrain point of view, we have a single motor, rear-wheel drive variant. We have a dual motor, one motor in the front, one motor in the back, all-wheel drive variant. And then we have a tri-motor, two motors in the back, one in the front. And the high performance variance of the vehicle, 0 to 60 in well under 3 seconds. Yeah, so it's very quick. And then all those motor combinations can achieve over 300 miles of range. So much of what Rivian is capturing the dynamics of the vehicle. And we needed to make sure that all the decisions we made in the aggregate, the suspension, the drivetrain, battery positioning, the packaging of the vehicle, delivered something that drove like nothing else. Something that was exciting on-road, something that was incredibly capable off-road, but had the everyday refinement and usability to work if you're parking in San Francisco or driving in New York. And so that focus on dynamics is so embedded in our culture as an organization, and embedded, of course, into our products. Now, we talked about the vertically integrated electronics we built, that enable this amazing software platform that we've seen in R1. We take that even further in R2. We talked about how the packaging and the design of the structure allows us to achieve really amazing manufacturability. We've also focused a lot on sensors and the compute in our vehicle. And this has 11 cameras, 5 radars, 4 radars in the corner, 1 long-range radar in the front, which we couple with our new, much higher compute platform, which will enable this to have a very high level of self-driving. And for us, that represents being able to get on the highway, take your hands off the wheel, eyes off the road, and truly operate where you get your time back. And that's, our self-driving team, we're really excited about what this vehicle represents for us. Now, I do want to talk just a bit about how we laid out the manufacturing system here. And I talked before about battery pack, but every single decision in the vehicle, and I say this a lot, but you look at a vehicle in the aggregate like this, and it looks like, oh, maybe there was a few thousand decisions. There's millions of decisions that have to be made across thousands of engineers. And those thousands of engineers making those collectively millions of decisions. We're incredibly focused on ensuring every one of those, not only optimizing for what the ownership experience would be, but optimizing our ability to make this very affordable and very accessible. And so the R2 starting price will be $45,000. Reserve one starting today. I'm so excited about this vehicle. I'm so excited about what it represents for us as a company in terms of scale, what it represents for us in terms of our collective learning being embodied into one vehicle as the follow product to what we did with our flagship product, R1. But it's important to note, R2 represents not just the vehicle, but it also represents the platform. And that platform, as I said, the performance, the capabilities, but also the flexibility from a manufacturing point of view is really important for us. And I'm really, really excited to talk about R2's sibling, which we call R3. So you didn't expect that one more thing. So R3 is, we're so excited about what this sort of delivers beyond what we see in R2. It takes the package of R2 and the platform, it shrinks it, it puts it into our take on what is a crossover. And it's a vehicle that's almost hard to define what it is, but it so beautifully captures our brand and captures what we represent as a company. It's dynamically incredible, the shorter wheelbase, the tighter dimensions, really enabled to be something that's maneuverable and drivable. But as tight as it is on dimensions on the outside, we put so much effort into making sure that the inside feels big. And much like we saw on R2, there's a lot of work that went into everything that you see in the rear of the vehicle, the occupant areas, and the front of the vehicle. But this is all enabled by the platform and is about 5 inches shorter, 135 millimeters shorter than what you see in R2 in terms of wheelbase. Well, leveraging all that same content. So the single motor, the dual motor, and the tri-motor, beautiful battery pack built around a larger format cell, our network architecture. Really excited about that below. So up front, we have a front storage trunk, much like we have in R2. And that storage area of the vehicle, you can use to throw in your gear, your bags, something like this. Wonderful for that everyday urban usability, residential usability. But I want to spend some time in the back. And we spent so much time as a team thinking about working on how do we create a unique closure experience in the back. What you just saw happen is the rear liftgate came up, just like we saw in R2. The first and the second row seats fold flat, so it creates an opportunity for in-car camping, or it creates something to carry along here. But when we close this, there's a second way to get to the back, which we call our flipper bus. What I love about this is it makes it easy to get things in now, but this actuation can actually go to multiple heights. So if you're carrying something that's longer, that could be a surfboard, that could be stuffed animals, that could be a trombone. You can adjust the height here, and it's a user setting to make it really easy to carry those bigger objects or bigger things around. And as I said, everything as we thought about this vehicle is around making a smaller car for a little bit. Now, looking at the interior, a lot of what we saw on the R2 carries over here. So the use of materials, when we think about the sustainability of those materials, how durable they are, and really embodying that Rivian feel is driven into this, which you also are right now. But same thing we have with our R2, the control wheels and the steering wheel, lots of flexibility in terms of storage, 2 glove boxes, and of course, we still have a flashlight here. Now, we talked about platform flexibility. Hopefully you're seeing that here between R2 and R3. The ability for these 2 vehicles with really common family genes. You can feel their siblings. They look like the Rivians. They feel like the Rivians. Unfortunately, you can't all drive them to say they drive like the Rivians, but I can guarantee they do. But there's one more thing. And looking at R3, we want to take everything that's embodied and put it into an even higher performance package. And this is something we call R3X.
Number what?
This is the vehicle when we walk around in the studio. Everybody says, "Oh, I want that so bad." That happens for this season. But this captures, as you can see, R3, but pulls a level of like deep performance capability into it. There's lots of subtle differences: wider wheel and tire, a little wider stance, more ground clearance, tri-motor setup, and the focus on really taking the capabilities of what Rivian represents and really flexing that, and really showing that in a small car, smaller crossover, delivering a level of on and off road performance that we just all very excited. And what you can't see, and I want to show, is the interior on the vehicle is just beautifully laid out. We had a chance to really stretch ourselves. This is an interior combination we internally call rugged playful. What's rugged? Playful. But the use of materials and the use of how we laid out those materials before, with interesting weaves and interesting ways to paint it as metal, it feels so uniquely Rivian, but also so unique to this vehicle and to the performance variant. Now, as we think about this portfolio of vehicles, R2, R3, R3X, I can see in the room, everyone is excited. We are these represent what we've been building to, the brand we established with the R1 products, positioning Rivian to take that further and make that more accessible to more people. And we've been working hard to find ways to pull the timing on these programs forward, to get them to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. And with that, we're excited to say that we're going to be pulling the timing in to allow R2 to start deliveries in the first half of 2026. By leveraging our production capabilities in North. To launch R2 and get that in the market as quickly as we can. Now, our Georgia site remains really important to us. It's core to the scaling across all these vehicles between R2, R3, R3X, and we're so appreciative of all the partnership we've had there. But being able to leverage the team, the skill, the passion we have in our Illinois facility, to get that into the market, to get the customers, some of the orders that are over there, as quickly as possible, we're just ecstatic about it. Now, hopefully you see, when we look at our products, we look at R2, we look at R3, we look at R3X, every decision, as I said, ties to making sure these vehicles enable and inspire the kinds of things we want to take photographs of, the kinds of things we want to remember 20 years from now, 30 years from now. And so we've also developed a set of accessories that sit on these products. Yes. that link to making and building those memories. So we have a tent that's so beautifully integrated that goes onto the top of R2 or R3. We have bike racks that make the use of bikes really easy. We want all of our vehicles to be the easiest vehicle to go biking with. And we have a really clever way to think about a kitchen and your storage, plugging into our storage ports in the back of the vehicle. But ultimately, we as a company, we as Rivian, we exist to not only help transition the world away from combustion fuels into electrification, we exist to help generate amazing memories and impressive things. So much for joining us today to hear about our future. We couldn't be more excited.